evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here, playing some more Pathfinder. It's time for the third scenario of the first chapter, Attack on Sandpoint. First, there was... No, it's not attack, it's trouble in Sandpoint. First, there was an attack on the city, now there's trouble in the city. What more won't happen to this terrible city? Anyway, this is what I would call a pretty generic scenario. There's a villain, there's some henchmen, nothing too crazy in the rules. So whenever you encounter a Wrathful Sin-Spawn henchman, after you're done with that thing, win or lose, you have a 1 in 6 chance of losing a turn, basically. So how many of these Wrathful Sin-Spawn are there? Well, I'll show you that in a moment. Here's the villain. Pretty generic villain. Nothing too crazy about this one. And there's a special henchman who's actually really easy. This thing only happens if he's undefeated, so it's just a Combat 11 monster. It's actually good. It makes the scenario easier because it's one less Wrathful Sin-Spawn, which is one less chance to lose a blessing from the Blessings deck, aka losing a turn. The Sin-Spawns are kind of annoying, so they're only a Combat 9, but if you can't make a Wisdom 6 check, they're actually a Combat 10, and they make it harder to close the location afterwards because it's for the rest of your turn that the difficulty of your checks is increased by 1. So characters who can make a wisdom check are definitely a little bit of an advantage compared to characters who are not, because, you know, the difference between like a charisma 6 or a charisma 7 for this party to close a location can definitely be significant. Okay, so let's talk about how many of these Wrathful Sin-Spawn you're actually going to face, because that's important for the scenario. So there's a villain somewhere, Koruvus somewhere, and then there's 6 other locations. So there's up to 6 of these Wrathful Henchmen Sin-Spawn that you're going to face. There's also one location whose closing requirement is to defeat a Wrathful Sin-Spawn henchman, so that's 7. And then the villain makes you fight a villain another one of these Wrathful Sin-Spawn henchmen, so that's 8. It could be a little bit less, of course, if you temp close some of these locations. It could be more if you fight the villain multiple times, or if you fail to defeat them. So, on average, you're going to lose 1 to 2 turns, unless, of course, you're very lucky or very unlucky when you're rolling that d6. Typically, I've had, like 4 turns left per scenario, so I'm feeling pretty confident that I'll be okay. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and assign locations. Seela's gonna go to her favorite, the Shrine of Lemeshtu, and then Amiri will join her to give her a weapon if needed. We got ourselves a village house here. I think I'm gonna send Linny there. That seems like a decent place for her, because she can pick up those allies. She's pretty much the best ally picker-upper in this party. We don't have Lem or Sione. Now, the Wizard Ezrin, I could send him to the Old Light. He doesn't mind having that many combat checks. And there's 2 spells in there. And then the closing requirement is something he's pretty good at. There's also the Apothecary, which has 3 spells. So here's the deal with the Apothecary. It does have 3 spells, which is the most spells, but I think this is one case where it might be worth it not to send Ezra in there, simply because there's also 2 blessings, which he's not necessarily going to be that good at picking up. I don't mind saving the Apothecary for later. Someone like Linny, for example, wouldn't mind going there, because she can automatically basically pick up the blessings at this point. She pretty much can't fail a check to pick up a blessing unless she gets very unlucky. So she likes also the lack of monsters in the Apothecary, and yes, intelligence isn't her thing. You'll have to play a blessing on that, but I don't know, I feel like it's worth it for Linny to have one more good location to go to. Okay, so now we gotta decide where people are going. I think the rogue is a shoo-in for the Junk Beach. There's 2 barriers in here, and the closing requirement is to defeat barrier, so that seems like the best place for her. And now for Harsk is kind of tricky, so none of these places are that great. He doesn't necessarily want to go to the Catacombs of Wrath because he's not that good at fighting. The Glassworks is a really shitty place. If you fail a check, discard the top card of your deck. This place is really, really awful, because every time you fail to pick up a boon, you have to discard a card. And there's 2 allies in here, which Harsk is likely to biff on. So this is actually not a bad place for Linny to go. And of course there's the Apothecary, which is where I'd like to send Linny, and Harsk isn't that good at intelligence. But the other option is the Waterfront, where Harsk, being a weapon wielder, will be suffering a -1 penalty on each die roll when using a weapon. So it's tough. I mean, you could put Harsk at the village house and just have him recharge cards to pick up the allies. It's not as good as being able to just pick them up fresh, but it's an option. You could also just suck it up and send Harsk to the Glassworks. So that's what I'm going to do here. I mean, somebody's got to do it, and he does have Perception, which is a d6 plus 2, so, you know, it's not ideal, but sometimes when there's enough crappy locations in one scenario, you can't really do everything perfectly. I'm lucky that I have Sela in my party to handle the Shrine of Lamish too, because when you're playing without Sela, that place is just such a bitch to deal with. It's really, really bitchy. Alright, so Amiri has only one weapon. Sela has her greatsword finally. I think this is the first time she's actually going to use the greatsword. Oh yeah, where's Amiri going to go? She's going to go to the Catacombs of Wrath, because it's chock-filled with monsters, which is what she likes, and the location requirement is to kill a monster, which she likes. So this should be a good place. Hopefully we don't have to stay here too long. Goblin dog. Alright, do I need to shoot an arrow here? How good is Harsk's hand? He's got a hand he doesn't actually really want to lose any cards of. Blessings for extra explorations, Thieves' Tools to handle a barrier, and the Potion of Glibness in case he finds an ally. Yeah, I'll just discard my long spear. Although I have 2 armors. You know what? This is the only move I'm making this turn. I'm going to just bury an armor just to get rid of it. I really don't feel like I need that much armor. And I'd rather bury an armor than discard my spear if I roll bad. Okay, so that's all I can do, but I will, we'll go ahead and recharge this magic leather armor. It's the nice thing about magic armor. You can recharge it at the end of your turn if you're proficient. And now I picked up a glaive, which is good. The glaive is better than the spear, so I'll be able to just bury the spear and keep on drawing cards. Oh, geez. Okay, well, here's where the scouting ability is good. She's not the greatest at this. Check. She can do D8 for Constitution, but she'd have to play, like, 2 blessings to really hit a 9, even rolling D8s. So, Sela's gonna take a little trip, a little day trip somewhere else. Maybe, let's see, we have the Apothecary to choose from. Yeah, we'll go for the Apothecary. She's not bad at picking up blessings or spells. She does have the Divine skill, so we'll just go here and knock out one of the cards. Hey! It's the Wrathful Sunspawn. Alright, so this is actually really tricky. Oh, this is bad. Because the location requirement is an Intelligence or Craft 6. Sela is stupid. Her Intelligence is a D4, and no one has the Craft skill. So we're going to have to play 2 blessings on that check, and even then, it might not succeed. Do we have a Blessing of Aurori, the Intelligence blessing? We don't. We have an Aid from Lindy. Oh, that's so good, man. I'm really glad I picked that over Strength. Lindy also has a Blessing of Calistria, which matches the current blessing, so we'll be able to save a resource with that. So Sela's going to roll, what, like a D4, plus a D4, plus a D6 to hit a 6. Probably I'll play one more blessing on it. No, she'll be able to use her own D6. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is it worth it to make this wisdom check to avoid the bump in difficulty, because then she'll be trying to hit a 7 instead of a 6. I think it's worth it. I'm not going to play a blessing on it, but I will go ahead and discard a card, and luckily, it was a blessing, so I don't lose anything, at least not yet. Wait a minute. What just happened? Hang on a second, folks. I'm a little bit confused. So I discarded a card. This should be my Wisdom 6 check, where the difficulty of your checks is increased by 1, but it's telling me that I am making a combat check. Okay, so I think there's actually a bug here, that it's showing up as combat, and why can't I play my greatsword? Uh-oh. I think we might have hit a bug, folks, and I apologize for that. That'll happen sometimes. So basically, I don't actually want to roll these dice, because if I fail it looks like I'm actually going to be failing my combat check. So Harsk will grudgingly shoot an arrow. Okay, and now I need to hit a 5 on these 3 dice. That should be fine. It's like not letting me use a weapon, but this does appear to be the... Wow, no! Okay, so that was very bizarre. I made a combat check at the beginning to avoid the penalty, and now I'm making another combat check. Alright, this should be fine, though. It's 2d6. Oh, sorry. That was my alarm. This should be fine, unless I roll really badly, and I don't. Okay, so there's a little buggy, but it works out okay. Hopefully we don't lose a blessing here. Whew, almost, but we managed to persevere. That thing's gone. Let's close the location. Alright, now I'm going to discard another card. Lost a Sage, so that's an extra exploration lost. Not the end of the world. Linny will pop a Blessing and Aid. So unless I roll really, really badly, just rolling any 4 dice to hit a d6 is not too bad. And I actually rolled pretty well. Okay, so it was a pretty good start. Obviously, I would have rather not been Sela doing this, but I don't mind. I really didn't lose that much. So Sela lost a Sage. Linny didn't lose anything. Harsk recharged an arrow for the buggy check. And we're going to go ahead and get rid of this chainmail because the villain doesn't do auto damage, so I don't feel the need to hold on to armor. And we get Cure, which is good, so I don't lose the Cure. Okay, what I'm gonna do here is let's just cast Charm Person first. There's always a chance that I get something that will help me. Burglar, ugh, well, I might help it defeat a barrier, I guess. Amulet of Life is not a spell, so I don't get to pick it up. Alright, and do I Spyglass before or after exploring? Let's go ahead and do it after. Okay, we'll just do a Lightning Touch. It's a bit dicey there. I will use Harsk's Other Blessing to secure this kill. Well, my D12 handled it all by itself. That's the story of my life. No need to use Expanded Spellbook because I already saw that it was Amulet of Life. Sucks that my Charm Person doesn't give me an extra exploration. But what I'll do is I'll Spyglass now and see what's coming up in here. We have Arcane Armor and a Satyr. So a Satyr is pretty straightforward. It's just a 9. And if you fail, bad things happen, but you really shouldn't fail against this. So what I'm going to do is I will, in fact, discard my Sage to explore again because I'm auto-succeeding at the Arcane Armor, so I'm getting 2 explorations out of the way. And it's nice because I get to, you know, use up Acid Arrow. And, wait. Oh, wait. Oh my god, I'm terrible at this game. This isn't a combat check. This is a dexterity or acrobatics check. I absolutely should not have done this. Like 100%, that was a terrible mistake. Because, shit. Someone else, Mariziel should have come over and handled this dexterity and acrobatics because she's an acrobat. And she's coming up next, she could have done it easily. And now I'm going to have to spend a bunch of blessings to just avoid, like, losing my entire hand. Is this worth it? Is this worth fighting? I don't actually think this is worth fighting. No one has a dexterity blessing because Linny used hers. And all I'm really fighting for is to try to get really lucky. Alright, fine, we're going to do it. I mean, I'm not happy about this, but we'll just have 2 people play blessings and hope I roll good on these d6s. But that was really, really bad play. I should have put the Satyr on top, let Mariziel come in here and killed it, and then have the Arcane Armor underneath it, and then have Ezrein pick that up on his next turn. I'm actually going to discard Arcane Armor because I don't see it being useful. We'll hang on to the Burglar because there is a barrier here, but I'm not that jazzed about it. Alright, well, here we are at the Junk Beach, fighting a bunyip. At the Junk Beach, fighting the bunyip. Yeah, that was a really good song. Okay, so heavy crossbow here. I don't really like the Sage's Journal. Father Xantus isn't going to come into play for a while, but I'm not sure I'm going to actually be able to get him back soon enough. So we'll just do that. And let's think. Can I hit an 8 with these dice? It is a d12 and a d10, so unless things get really unlucky, I should be fine with that. Alright, do I discard this blessing to explore again? I think I will, even though this is a good combat blessing. I think extra turns are more significant here, and we get lucky. So, second location here, out of the first 4 that has a henchman at the top, as one of the top 2 cards. There's only a, 1 in 5 chance that the henchman will be one of the top 2 cards. Alright, so now, let me think about this. I think I will actually recharge Father Xantus, which means I really should have recharged him first, because now it's going to take 1 more time for me to find him. I'm going to get rid of the Potion of Glibness. At the end of the day, it's not the end of the world if Harsk doesn't pick up an ally. So, but it would be really bad if I failed this combat check. Alright, so here we are, rolling a d6, trying not to lose a blessing. No! We lose a blessing. Ouch. Alright, that sucked. So, disable, I have to roll a 4 or higher here. That's a bit dicey. That's something you can definitely fail at. What is this? Oh, this is a promo blessing. Unfortunately, that does not apply to the poison trap. So, let's close that out. Linny's just going totally empty-handed into her location. Yeah, why not? Why not just go in totally empty-handed? That way, if she finds a monster, she's not going to get killed. Alright, we make it. So, made a little bit of a mistake there with Ezrein at the Old Light. I didn't notice the Satyr wasn't a combat check. But we've got some pretty good luck here. 2 locations are already closed, so in theory, once everybody spreads out, we could corner the villain right away. Potion of Healing. Alright, I'm just going to pop this. I hate this thing. I know it's weird to hate a Potion of Healing, but, like, it's just a card that any card that's banished on use, you really just can't focus your deck-building strategy around it, which makes it hard to use effectively. Alright, we've got some holy water here. Not sure I really want it. Good, didn't get it anyway. And well, sure, let's discard a crow for an extra exploration. As long as I don't find a henchman, I should be fine. So this kind of sucks. I'm not very likely to pick up the soldier. The blessing does not match any of the blessings other people have, I don't think. And nobody has a Blessing of Gorham, so I can't get a free die, like a rechargeable blessing. So it sucks that my animal's not here. It would have dramatically improved my odds of getting an extra turn. But luck, better to be lucky than good. I will just go ahead and discard this guy and get another exploration out of here. Short sword +1, honestly not that exciting. Yes, it's a magic weapon, but it's a D6 +1. It's just really pretty crappy. Like it's worse than some basic weapons, honestly. And it's really only good if you find like one of those undead things that requires the magic trait to be defeated. Longsword's basic card, definitely just junk. Okay, so do you keep the longsword is really the only question. I'm gonna keep it. It looks like a lot of people need me to fire arrows, so I'm just gonna go ahead and keep that since I'm doing a lot of arrow firing and I'm pretty confident I'll still make it through the deck. Okay, so the next card in Harsk's location is actually an archer. Someone should go there and pick that up because he sure, well, can he? He's got the ranged skill. I guess he has a decent shot of picking up the archer. Oh, crap. Well, nothing I can do here. I mean, I could attempt a Wisdom or 7/7 check to evade it, but we're just going to have to take the damage. Worst case scenario, I lose everything but my glaive, and that is what happens. Well, you know, I can't even really complain. Can I really complain? I can't complain because I've been fairly lucky in this scenario so far. So, get to keep the glaive at least, and this should be good enough because it's only a combat 9, and I could have discarded it if I had failed. So that was shitty, losing 3 cards, but you know that's gonna happen. Scouts in the deck, you're gonna encounter it sometimes. All right, where the hell does Sela go now? Oh yeah, right. She's nice. She wasn't even supposed to be in the apothecary. She's supposed to be here. So now we're going in blind. Hopefully the top card isn't the blessing. Oh no! No, I forgot. The whole reason why she left this place was because of the barrier on top that I completely forgot to have anyone deal with. Harsk could have dealt with it. He has the thieves' tools. Okay, I'm gonna make an unconventional move. I'm gonna pass. I mean, to beat that thing, I'm gonna have to play 2 blessings, which is like giving up 2 explorations. So I'd rather just give up 1 exploration. But I really have to remember to have Harsk go over there. So that sucks that I just screwed up that badly. I really should have remembered what I was doing. Okay, so the reason I'm looking at the map with Ezrin is that he has augury. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, excuse me. So I'm gonna go to the waterfront with Ezrin. Oh god, I have to, yeah. Because the waterfront still has 4 monsters in it. So this is the one where I am most likely to find 1 or 2. Hey, alright, well that's actually 3 locations out of 10, with a henchman as one of the top 2 cards. So, you know, that almost makes me glad that like I have some bad luck with that scout roll, making Amiri take 3 damage. So it's like, well, I'm so lucky with the location of the henchman. Can I really be complaining? And it makes it kind of like worthwhile. Alright, so strength is a nice card to pick up. I don't think I'm actually going to be using it, because I might, under normal circumstances, use the quarterstaff. God darn it. Alarm. Stop. Okay. Under normal circumstances, I might have, like, used the quarterstaff or something, but the problem is I'm losing a die, or 1 per die rolled if I use a weapon, so this is not the time or the place to use strength. But anyhow, let's go ahead and fight the henchman. So we'll use, I think I'm going to use Frost Ray on the henchman. And I do want to secure this, so let's get rid of the heavy crossbow, because I have my Deathbane light crossbow for use in the future. Alright, we crush that guy. Attempt to recharge, and I did pick up a strength spell last time I used expanded spellbook, so I might be able to get something here. Close location. Expanded spellbook, thank you very much. Invisibility, well, it's not exactly useful right now. None of the locations here require stealth checks, but I'm definitely not going to evade the bandit. I need to recharge a card. Oh boy. Oh, I hate keeping the burglar around, because like if I never find a barrier, it's just sitting in my hand taking up space. We'll get rid of the quarterstaff. I mean, it's a card Ezrin doesn't ever really like using. So acid arrow, what do we got here? I have to roll a 4 on these 2 dice, so a 2 on each. It's one of those things, though, I don't want to dick around. I don't want to dick around. I mean, yes, the odds of that are small, but when it does happen, it, like, just destroys your progress in the scenario if you do get that little chance of failure. So why risk it? Why take even a little chance of failure if you can avoid it? It's one of the reasons I like Harsk. I feel like with Harsk, just over the long run, you're going to have, like, less of those moments where, like, a whole scenario got just a bajillion times harder simply because, you got really unlucky. And we end up losing the what's her face, burglar anyway, because I forgot at the waterfront you have to discard a card. The waterfront is so bitchy. I just always forget. Like, it's so bitchy that not only are you losing like one per weapon or one per die rolled, but like on top of that, you have to discard a card at the end when you're done. Crap, this is awkward. Mariziel has nowhere to go except the old light, which isn't really her favorite place, but I'm just hoping I don't find the henchman here. And I don't. Alright, I find a pretty crappy spell. Ezrin wasn't going to be able to pick this up too easily, although he might have gotten lucky and gotten extra exploration, so that's kind of sad. I don't want to use the Troubadour to explore again, because it's a 1 in 6 chance that I find a henchman. And as you'll recall, Mariziel is pretty stupid. I don't want to be blowing away a bunch of resources to make her succeed at her intelligence check. So, yeah, because that's all we're doing. Okay, Linny, does she stay in the village house? I think she might want to leave just to give Mariziel a place to go, but where is she going to go? She could go to the glassworks. She's just better at making checks than Harsk is. Yeah, I think I'm going to go here. It's a little risky because Harsk can't shoot an arrow to help her. Oh, what the hell is this? Oh, it's an archer. Okay, that's fine. Harsk can't shoot an arrow to help her, but she's just better at making checks than he is. So what is this? Dexterity ranged. Harsk would have had a D8 plus 5. I don't know if a D8 and a D4 to hit a 6 are better odds than that. Well, not when you're rolling snake eyes. Alright, so Linny loses a blessing of wisdom, which is kind of sad, and I don't want to recharge my last ally to explore, so that's that. You know what I should have done? I should have... Okay, I'm going to do what I should have done with Linny. I should have gone there and used her thieves' tools to get rid of this stupid collapsed ceiling, but okay, at least it's gone now. So let's discard those thieves' tools, finally. About time. And that's all I can do, so let's scout. Hey! Wow. Alright, that was, I think, the 4th location where one of the top 2 cards was a henchman. Can you imagine how different this would have been if those 4 locations, the henchman was one of the bottom 2 cards? So definitely singing the praises to Lady Luck here, because it's been a pretty good scenario. Alright, pick up a short sword, which is junk. I really would have rather fought a monster because I would need to get rid of some of these damn cards. There's really no reason for me to leave, so let's get rid of the short sword. I'll bury the other weapons when I fight monsters. Since I've been so lucky with, yeah, I don't need a scout, I know what it is already. Since I've been so lucky with my, henchman location, I feel like I don't need to aggressively discard my weapons just to find blessings as a Miri, just so I can explore more. I feel like she can take her time because everyone else is doing so good. Okay, how many cards does Harsk have in his discard? Harsk has 1. Who needs healing? Linny could use some healing. Mariziel doesn't need it. Ezrin could use it. And Amiri could use it. Ezrin actually has 6 cards in his deck. Amiri has 7, so Ezrin really needs it the most. But right now, she's got a cure spell. I don't think I can afford to leave to do that, because she's really in the best shape. Well, is she? Linny could go over here and kill the henchman, and then Linny's actually better at a Divine 6 check. You know what, though? Let's not be greedy. I'm just going to fight this henchman. Oh, God. I hope this doesn't, like, get fucked up this time. You know, I don't care, because I'm going to just banish a blessing to make this. Hey, alright, I succeeded anyway. But yeah, I'm going to be banishing a blessing regardless, so it doesn't really matter if I have a Divine 6 or a Divine 7 check, because banishing a blessing is what I'm going to be doing. Alright, I'm just going to play it safe. I already have my cure. It's like the one thing that I'm really afraid of losing. I'm not going to... Okay. Hello. Discard a card from your deck. Thank you very much. So yeah, I don't care about losing a mace. I don't really care about any of the cards I can lose, because I've already got cure, so I'm fine. Alright. Wow, I can't believe I'm already halfway done with the time. Jeez, so we got a little bit unlucky with there. We've lost 2 turns, actually, to the henchman. And I could easily still lose this, because even though I've been really lucky with the henchman placement, I am halfway done with my clock, and still don't know where the villain is. And, I've lost 2 turns to those Wrathful Sunspawn. Okay, so Ezrin has a clear place to go. He's going to go back here. I think I'll leave... What am I going to leave? I'm going to leave the village house open for Mariziel. Mariziel's a really great character to have, but that is one liability with her. You really always have to think about how you're going to make sure that she can be alone somewhere, because her effectiveness drops off a lot if she is with someone else. I'm going to play it a little safe here. We're going to discard this longbow for its weapon ability to add a d4 plus 1, because I've already got another magic weapon that I can be using, so I don't need them both. And Harsk is very healthy. He's only discarded 1 card so far. So I really just want to make sure I get this Ogre. I don't want to fail that. Turns out that didn't matter, but if that D4 from the longbow was the 4, then that means that had I not fired that longbow, I would have been at exactly 15, which is of course pretty close. Okay, so do I discard the Sage to explore again? The disadvantage of that is that then I will have a 1 in 12 chance of failing the check to close the location. But I think I'm willing to take that risk because I've already lost 2 turns to the Wrathful Sunspawn. I think I need to take a few steps to be a little quicker. Alright, well, that's pretty good. So we get our Scout there, and now Mariziel is going to go here. She's got some junk cards to discard to pick up allies, like the Leather Armor and the Crowbar. Siren, fuck me. Well, I'm lucky at least that Sela kept her Wisdom Blessing. 3d6 to hit an 8's a little dicey. If all of the dice come up 2, you are going to fail this. I'm running really low on blessings, but I really don't want to fail this thing. So we're just going to play that extra die, and of course it didn't matter, but that's life. Alright, do I explore again? I think I kind of have to. I think things are getting a little bit dicey. Alright, so Sir Drugdruck, I hate this guy. He looks so cool, he's got a sweet name, but it's just sort of shitty. However, I did just discard an ally, so picking him up is like getting an extra exploration. So I'm going to go ahead and use this thing. Let's get rid of Crowbar. I don't think I'm going to need that. So we're going to pick him up, and then I'm going to immediately banish him to get back my Troubadour. So it's sort of like the same as picking up an ally that I could have just discarded to explore. I get Mirror Image here, which is junk. And alright, so we do have some locations where the henchmen are hiding in the bottom. She cannot find blessings to save her life. Alright, let's go to the Glassworks. Force Missile. Alright, so that would have been an extra turn for Ezrin, but again, there's really no realistic way that I could have pulled it off and had him get here. Yeah, let's get rid of Force Missile. Do I dare discard my Tiger to explore? I don't think I can afford that. Alright. So really right now, we're in kind of the same boat that we end up in a lot of the time, which is just needing to find the villain. So Mariziel can tempt close the Village House, Ezrin can tempt close the Old Light, Amiri can definitely tempt close the Catacombs of Wrath, and Linny's not bad at closing the Glassworks. I'm just gonna go here so that Linny knows what's coming up. And at this point, I got only 10 turns left. We need to find the villain. Alright, there's the villain. So I've been very lucky this scenario. Notice that even with me being very lucky, I've made some misplays, and as a result, I've only got 10 turns left and a lot of cards left to explore through, and I've also lost a lot of blessings. However, I should be able to kill the villain right here. So I'm going to start with Amiri and take a quick look at how everybody's doing for the time. I don't need to make this wisdom check. Or not for time, for blessings. Excuse me. So we have no blessings, no blessings, no blessings, no blessings, and no blessings. So actually we don't have any blessings. This is gonna... Wow, I don't have a single one? Oh shit. Oh my god. Harsk might not be able to make this check, because Harsk is the one fighting the villain. He's got to get a 14, and there are no blessings anywhere? Uh-oh. I'm actually potentially going to fail this check against the villain. Okay, so what's going to happen is, if I successfully temp close all the locations, at least I know what location the villain is at. So I can leave one person to temp close all the other locations, and then just like, I can leave basically one person at each location to temp close it, and then the other people can pile drive the location where the villain's at. So it is important to temp close, and of course I have a shot at killing the villain if I just roll good. But it's kind of amazing that there's not a single blessing anywhere. That's really just awkward. Yeah, I'll shoot away this Potion of Glibness just to make sure this check goes well. Crap. And the problem with that Deathbane is it cannot be, can't be discarded for an extra die. Alright, at least I didn't lose a third turn, but this is going to be close. This is going to be close. So this is one of those rare cases where temp closing isn't the problem. Problem is actually killing the villain, because I don't have a single blessing to use. And there's also a 1 in 12 chance that I will fail this. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Thank goodness. Oh, wait, I just saw something really, really important. Oh my god, okay. So I'm going to choose Linny, of course, to encounter this Wrathful Sunspawn. Because she doesn't I don't really care what happens to her, and I don't even mind using an inflict here. I could banish caltrops, but I'd rather just use the inflict because I have 2 of them. And again, I don't really care if I fail this. It doesn't really make any difference. So if I succeed, great. If she had to discard some cards to damage, that's fine. Not that it matters. I didn't have anything I could have helped her with, so whatever. Wow, I can't believe nobody has a blessing. That's crazy. And then Ezrin has strength, but of course, strength isn't going to help Harsk, who is firing a crossbow. And unfortunately, the villain is an outsider, not undead, so his Deathbane light crossbow doesn't get any bonuses. See, I have to roll a 9 on these dice. However, Ezrin has Shillelagh and Osana, which adds a d4 to any ranged combat check, and I'm going to use that here. So I have to roll a 9 on these 3 dice. No, an 8 on these 3 dice. 14 minus 6 is 8. Yeah, so it's a little fishy, but certainly doable. I think I'm better than 50% odds at succeeding at this. Anyway, even if this fails, so I'll know that she's one of the 7 cards in there. Ezrin, Maurizio, and Amiri will hold the fort. So that's like 3 turns lost. So I'm down to like 7, and then like Sela, Linny, and Harsk can go in there and try to find Irelium. But I hope I succeed at this because it's gonna get rough. Oof. That was close. That was real close. All right. Without Shillelagh's help, that would have been exactly the number needed to hit. Okay, so yeah, it was a tough scenario. Even with a lot of locations with the henchmen near the top, I had to use a lot of blessings due to poor play and some unfortunate monsters. But yeah, like those 2 blessings that the party lost, helping Ezrin defeat the Satyr, that was an avoidable mistake. I lost a turn because Sela went back to the collapsed ceiling at the Shrine of Lamwish 2, so that was a mistake. So that's like 3 extra turns that I could have had if I'd played better. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe. And if you want to stick around, it's time to get our first power feat. Very exciting. So for power feats, I think honestly the best thing you can do is just get hand size for the most part. But I'm gonna pick some fun feats because I'm doing, the video series, and I wanna open up some fun abilities, even if it's not mechanically the superior thing to do. So for Amiri, I'm gonna go ahead and take Move Another. This we'll see in the next video is really cool. It opens up some nifty possibilities for her and Sela in particular. So now she can either stay put and bring somebody to her, or she can move somewhere else and bring somebody to her there. That is optional. She doesn't have to do that, but she's got that option now. For Sela, I'm going to take this Ceaseless Crusade. So now she gets to scout at the beginning and at the end of her turn. It's really cool. Ezrin, I think for him the best thing is hand size. He doesn't really have that many options. His power feats are just these 2, where he can adds a bonus 1 to his checks to recharge cards. Linny's another easy character. So Linny has armor proficiency and weapon proficiency, but like, who cares? She doesn't even have any armor or weapons. So you're going to be putting your skill feats into Animal Trick. So now she gets a d4 plus 1 to any check when she reveals an animal. Harsk will improve his sniper shot. So now he adds a d4 plus 1 to combat checks at other locations. And Maurizio, we're going to go ahead and improve her sneak attack. So when she recharges or discards a card, she gets an extra plus 1 to the combat check. Okay, so that's what I'm doing for my party, but for those of you who are interested in some in-depth strategy, I want to mention this. Each character has 4 options for power feats on their hero card, and will be forced to take 3 of the 4. So if you're ever playing a game and you're not quite sure what to take, one thing you can do is think about, like, well, which one do I definitely not want to take? And then all you're really deciding is like what order to take the other 3, but you're going to get them all anyway. So at most the difference is like you play for some time without this power feat. But for my party, Amiri is definitely not going to take heavy armor proficiency. That's really crappy. Ezrin, you have a choice. You either get up to 8 hand size and plus 1 to recharges, or plus 2 to recharges and 7 hand size. It's not even that big of a deal. Maurizio, one of the key things you have to ask yourself is, do I want weapon proficiency? My advice is if you're playing in the party with Harsk, you don't really need weapon proficiency because crossbows don't require weapon proficiency, and there's plenty of good ones. They're sometimes even better than bows. And when you do find the ranged weapons that require proficiency, Harsk can use them. But if you do play without Harsk, some of the best weapons, like the very best, do take proficiency, so then you might want to grab it from Maurizio so she can use those weapons. For Harsk, I think it's an easy call. This thing is pretty crappy. you can put you can explore the bottom or examine the bottom card of your deck instead of the top card at the end of your turn. But it's really, really, really marginal. So compared to having a hand size or improving a sniper shot, it's just not that good. And Linny's one of the 2 characters in the game that really gets screwed. So she's going to be forced to take armor or weapon proficiency. I'm going to give her weapon because armor is just almost completely useless. But it sucks that she has to do that. It would have been much better if she could get hand size. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and rebuild our decks. So no thanks on the short sword. And she'll need a blessing. No thanks on the arcane armor. No thanks on the burglar. Merziel needs an armor. Linny, no thanks on the force missile. No thanks on the soldier. Harsk, no thanks on the longsword. So, wow, we really didn't pick up much. That's what happens when the henchmen are on top. So now, because I am short, Celia gets to pull a blessing from the box, and the rogue gets to put an armor from the box. Nothing super exciting going on there. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe. And, of course, I'll see you again soon. Take care.